you don't know which is which.
Oh, boy, I don't know. Look at the ordinances appendix E. The tip on it.
Because that's, because I
Look
think
at
it's
what-
this, I think the new one's this one.
Probably.
Why is that one so thick?
I don't know, I think it's a lot of like unnecessary stuff.
Regulation in action right there.
Oh, this is all the Moose Mountain stuff, I left this in here in case anybody wants it.
How you doing, Marshall?
I am very good, and thanks for asking. I was down
What
in
does that
Florida
ordinance say?
last week, so
Bottom of the list.
Really?
I'm very happy to get away for a little.
We're going in the morning tomorrow.
In the morning?
This one?
Yeah, the last.
Are you ready for
Yeah.
it?
Just till Friday.
Doesn't matter how long you're there.
Mushroom.
You know
What's that?
Greg Chance,
March
right?
12th.
And Kristen, Dave Newton's
I know.
niece.
It might just even be.
So they're down there for the horse season at Ocala, which is like the
I
national.
was
What's
just.
this meant for?
Capital of the world.
I'm gonna watch her training on Wednesday.
Oh.
Staying with my college roommate down there for 3 nights.
Oh, nice.
So kind of two things.
Down in Gainesville, that way.
Ocala.
And they're south of it, right?
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, it was windy as hell.
Was it? Well, it was here too.
Oh. It was like 50 mile an hour wind.
Wait, where was that?
West Palm.
Oh, all right.
So,
When do you go to Arizona?
that's not until October. This was just playing golf with
Oh, that's awesome.
But it was still nice. It was still nice, you know?
Verizon says.
with the wind? There was no snow.
Yeah.
The correct time. The what?
Just have to go down
I
to
go
the
by
west.
Verizon.
There's no snow.
All right, let's call the planning board meeting to order, March 10th, 6 PM. We do have a quorum, and you should have an agenda somewhere in front of you. Start with a roll call. Ed Ingles, I'm here. Marshall Goldberg, here. Carrie Men, Amy.
Here.
Gus Stratton is absent. Terry Ward's absent. Rich Stacker.
Here.
All right. Alternates, none. I'm not aware of anything under correspondence that we're not going to cover later. You're right.
I don't think so.
Okay. So we have the minutes, which Leah was nice enough to put together. There's pages of it because it was the public hearing and the board meeting from February 10th, which is just 2 pages. I don't know if people have had a chance to look at it.
I have read it.
Yeah.
I think you pretty much nailed it.
See, that's, and it's right there. That's what I was like.
Oh, yeah?
Took a while.
I know how to spell.
I know, I know.
Well,
So I'm like, I don't know if we got ours, but anyway, cool.
all right. On the public hearing minutes, Carrie's last name is spelled wrong.
Already.
So we'll fix that.
Such an attention getter.
Any questions on the minutes? The public hearing minutes probably being most important. A lot of the language was lifted right from Laura's response email, right?
Yes.
But I think you captured the essence of what happened. Make a motion?
Sure. Can we do both at once, or do we have to do 2 separate motions?
We can do both at once.
Okay. Then I make a motion that we accept the minutes from what date?
February 10th and February 11th.
In February 11th. Town public hearing.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Abstain, 1.
Thank you. You were here. You were under the knife. Okay, public comments? Nothing? We have one public hearing, I guess. So new business, we wanted to update the rules of procedure. It's been a long time, and there's all kinds of references to Stoneham Corners and newspaper notices, and that we meet on Thursdays at 7 PM, et cetera, et cetera. So I think number one, we need to clean that type of stuff up. The second part is that the letter, sample letter that goes out to the gravel pits is not what we used this year. We went back to the meeting that Ed gave us the details for, where we send a stamped self-addressed envelope, and it kind of goes both ways instead of just us sending it and then trying to follow up randomly. So I think we need to update the gravel pit language in there as well. Not the language, but the form. And the other thing is, I think, is this in the packet, Leah, the gravel pit?
Yes,
Yes.
right at the end.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to do this all at once, and nobody's really, you guys probably haven't looked at this until right now, but we took, there was some language we found somewhere. I don't know if it was from another town or something old that we had.
Something old we had.
For
Something
this?
For the gravel pits. Like
Yeah.
our current inspection report kind of stinks. It's
If you
got
wanna
like
take
a
quick
few
look,
things
this is
on
the
it.
old one.
Yeah.
Oh,
it has
all
to-
right.
Everything highlighted, I didn't include.
Okay.
So our current one, which is in this, should be in your book here.
It is, it's just like 4 or 5
Yeah,
questions.
it's a couple of check marks,
Match it.
and it doesn't really do much. So this one's a little bit more comprehensive,
Yeah.
and it's probably 50% of whenever that one was being used back in the old days. So I think we
See those.
need to beef it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the third part is, and this goes into on the agenda, A2, the conditional use permits. There's a procedure and some forms on that, and I don't know if we want to do anything with that now, or we want to just kind of let that kind of lie for now. So there's 3 parts to it: updating the language, which I think is like editing, basically. I don't think we need even a vote on that. We can just do it and then propose it to everybody and then vote on it. We don't need to vote to go do it, only when we have to change it. And then the gravel pits, we can do that either together with that language editing, or we have that as a separate type of thing, given that we might want to do the language like right away and then do the other thing later after new members have looked at it and that type of thing. And then we can probably, as I said, table the conditional use permit stuff for a few meetings, get some new people thinking about it, and just, we may not change it, maybe we just look at the language that's there and we say it's fine, but the form may have to change and just be updated. I didn't take a lot of time to look at that, so kind of those 3 parts. We didn't send around the thing I sent you with the proposed edits, right?
No.
So we have to send it to the members a week before the meeting for everybody to look at if we're going to change our rules of procedure.
Okay.
So we'll do that for next meeting, and that will have at least the language changes in it. And then probably next meeting, we'll talk about the gravel pit stuff, and then perhaps the meeting after that, we send that draft around and vote on that in those 2 parts, and then we'll deal with conditional use permits, down the road. Does that make sense to everybody?
Sure.
Mr. Selectman?
There was some discussion about trying to consolidate some of our documents so that we don't have the public looking in 4 or 5 different documents for the rules. That's later?
I think so. I'm just wondering, that, as you know, it takes
Yes.
a year or 2 to even know which tab to look under a lot of times. And you look under one for 5 minutes and you go, well, that's not in there, that should be over here. It would be wonderful if we could do that, but things like rules of procedure are governed by RSAs, so you have to have that separate. Ordinance is obviously separate because that's CBA. Maybe subdivision regs can be rolled in somewhere?
But it won't be in the rules of procedure.
No,
There's nothing else we're going to put in the
I don't
rules?
think so.
Okay, so
I don't think so.
So I think on the rules of procedure, from when we talked about this a year or 2 ago, there was something in there that said, you had to send out an agenda, I think like 72 hours ahead. And I don't know if that's an RSA or if that's just something we wrote as part of our rules of procedure.
Yep.
So that's something you might want to think about, if that's comfortable, not comfortable.
As of now, my understanding is that the agendas do not need to be posted, but they need to be sent, I think it's 48 hours ahead of time.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Because
But it says in there,
I know like Rick used to send it Friday afternoon-ish,
right,
Saturday morning for the Monday meeting.
yeah.
We've been sending it Thursday typically, and we are posting it. So that's, I don't think we have to do that under an RSA, but we have been posting it out there on the website, right?
I forgot out there again. So not out there, but
It's
on the website.
Yeah, probably more important. And then there's the language around the newspaper notices has changed.
Right.
So it's sort of optional at this point. You can do that, or you can post it in one extra place in town. And as long as it's on the website.
Right.
So I think we just need to change that language and update all
Yeah.
that. So
Which is a sidebar.
Yeah,
Rich, is there any chance we could, the town meeting is the 15th, right? So the selectmen run that meeting, correct?
Moderator.
The moderator runs it? So could we just, by a show of hands, ask people, how many of you go on the website?
Sure. You have to ask the moderator,
As a question or something?
ask the question, yeah. He runs the meeting.
Because I would assume it'll be fairly well attended? I mean, I don't know.
You're gonna be, if you get 80 people, it's a lot.
Right,
Out of,
600.
voters, 600 voters.
I'd just be curious, because we have no sense of
That's right,
how we communicate to our community.
that's right.
So the people that are attending the meeting are not looking, chances are,
yeah. That's not good, because at least they care enough to come to the meeting.
that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So it might,
It's
Might
skewed a
be-
little bit.
Yeah.
well, but that's okay, at
Yeah.
least we know.
Right, if 10% of that group is looking at it, we know we have an
Yes.
issue, right?
So supposedly, Civic Plus is going to be updating our website soon with some sort of new product they're putting out. And allegedly, we will have Google Analytics on that. They told me I can't put it on the website we have. So I will work to get that, so we'll have a better idea of who is using the website or how often and what pages they're going to and all that.
Yeah, those things are valuable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the question is, does it have that capability or doesn't it? Because if it doesn't, then why
It
are
doesn't
we-
right now.
I know, but it's a different.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole separate discussion, I guess, which is not in our bailiwick, so I guess we should stay focused.
Real quick aside, I asked at a town meeting once to get it put on fireworks. Biggest mistake I ever made.
Oh, what, you asked him?
What's the town feel? Should we or should we not have fireworks? So should we or should we not have a website? Is where we're going if we ask how many people use it. And if you don't get a lot of support, there could be quite a discussion on why do we even have it.
Well, I think it's a good resource, because if you do have a question, or if you need to get a phone number, or, I mean,
But what does it cost the town to have a website?
4,000 or 5,000.
That
Does it
much?
really?
Yeah.
Why?
The software
Because-
behind it. The
Because
software.
civic,
oh,
and you have to have that.
I think it is, so, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have this
You need
particular.
some tool
You-
behind it.
yeah.
No, I know, but
Yeah, that's what they go.
But there's nothing RSA that says you have to use a specific
Nope.
software.
Don't even need a website.
Okay. Well,
That doesn't seem like a way to go, though, moving away from the website these days.
Let's move towards the
But
newsletter
it sure
trend.
makes sense that, maybe, again, separate conversation, we can talk about that, right? It's not a non-issue.
We're gonna go
have to be
for it.
public, because it doesn't make sense to me to spend $5,000 on software when you can host a website for like $20 a month. And if it doesn't do any analytics, why are we spending $5,000 a month?
Not a year, that's a year.
Okay, $5,000 a year.
A month? We
$5
wouldn't have
grand a
it.
month, we wouldn't have
Well,
a
I know,
website.
but I'm just,
Cybersecurity is probably one big part of it.
I
You
don't
need
know
up to
what it
date,
is, but
up-to-date analytics and
it
protections,
And if all
firewalls.
the accessibility regulations are changing and stuff, but they keep up with that. Like, I don't have to deal with that.
Well, that's what I mean, there's some government.
It's linked to a lot.
Yeah, it might be 3,000 a year, but it's in that range. It's not cheap.
Right.
They're not giving it away.
Okay.
But that's you guys anyway, right?
Yeah.
You would do
Yeah,
a
that's not-
study to see if there was a better option or what have you.
Yeah.
There's two.
And you say you guys, it's, I would be doing
It would
that.
be Leah.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
You're one of the guys, right?
There's two vendors that support small town.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
We digress.
Home occupation permits, we have it under rules of procedure, it's not really, well, it is there, I guess, but
No, I get it.
you want to, Leah, that's you want to talk about that?
This
No, I didn't leave it on myself. Wait a second.
occupation permit?
So the selectmen provide the home occupation permits, but we don't have a form. We felt like we should have a form in the rules of procedure at the planning board level that you guys can use.
That would be fine. But when I read the zoning, because I was looking at the agenda, trying to get ready, when I found it in the zoning, it says, whatever it's called, home occupation permits,
Yep.
responsibility of select, right in the zoning. So I
Yep.
said, oh, we need a form, the selectmen need a form, so when someone comes in, and that's when Leah shared her work.
And where would such form reside? Just on the website?
Yeah.
Under selectmen? So you don't think planning board needs to do any more than what Leah's already done?
We'll take all the input we get, I don't think so. If we take what Leah's given us, she's done a lot of work on that.
Yep.
Goes it around. I think she's provided the skeleton. We have to pick and choose and put the parameters on it.
Okay.
So that's good. So we need to do that. So who's the we?
Thank you.
You do that.
Yep.
All right.
They'll make the form once they decide what they want on it.
So that's that. So there's some state level zoning initiatives, and Leah said, I don't know if she sent it around to us or not,
But I
but
got something late with that tonight.
I sent it, no, I sent that last week,
Oh, that was,
what he's talking
I was
about.
gone.
so one of, you can probably, you know more than I do, but one of them is smaller lot sizes. These are bills that are around the state that are not passed yet, but with a housing shortage, smaller lot sizes, ADUs can kind of go anywhere, doesn't even have to be
And they're
attached.
guaranteed.
Yeah, and then there was, what was the third one? I forget the third one. Didn't seem like it applied to us as much.
I don't remember that one either.
But anyway, just be aware that there are these initiatives out there,
Mm-hmm.
and we just went from 2 acres to 5 acres, and there's another warrant this year with, just that sort of grandfathering thing, but we still have 5 acres. And they're going the other way. They're saying, I guess it's differentiated between if you have septic systems versus town sewer. So town sewer, they're trying to get down to ½ acres everywhere. And septic, I think they're trying to get back to like 1 or 2, I forget. But anyway, kind of going in that direction just to alleviate the housing shortage. And the other was workforce housing, maybe? Was there one on that?
I think so. I don't know.
Multifamily. Anyway, just be aware, if you want to look them up, they're on the agenda here. We don't have to do anything right now, but we may have to just be aware of what's going on there.
I will try to remember to forward those to everybody as I get them.
Let's see, I think we had a couple, do we have something else on new business? We probably should maybe just touch on that soccer thing.
I saw that in here, yeah.
Yeah. So this is something we may have to deal with, may not. There's a soccer club that has been using the Wolfboro Pop Warner Field, I guess. And they're working on negotiating with Moose Mountain to create a field over there and have their practices over there. Not really sure what it entails. Leah's been in touch with the guy that runs the program. And I guess we had an email that we sent out to Laura, who's been really busy with warrant articles, but we haven't heard back from her as to what process we might have to follow going forward. So more on that probably at the next meeting.
Moose Mountain's a little worried they're gonna need another site plan review for it, though.
Yeah, it would be an amendment to the current one. And I don't, honestly, I don't know exactly what that entails, but, and we would most likely waive the fee on that, I would think.
So that's different than the soccer field on Lyford Road?
It's the same one, but because of that's a non-residential, would be a non-residential use, it would have to go to ZBA. If it goes up there, it would not have to go to ZBA. It would be potentially a site plan review amendment, or not, we don't know for sure.
Is that the one that you and I went and looked at? What is that?
It's just somebody's acreage. I think.
Whose is it?
Bob Benson's.
Bob Benson's.
So there's a sheet in their packet here about the soccer club. Doesn't really say too much, but
It's just all info I pulled off their website.
yeah. Part-time community club, they only operate 3 nights a week. They have a couple of weekend tournaments, end of the year soccer jamboree. So, whether those things would continue or not, if they move venues, we don't know. So that was the other new business I think we had. Am I forgetting something else? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have anything else on my file, so I don't think so.
All right.
The selectmen gave them the letter for alcohol on their patio. That went out, we gave them that letter last Tuesday. It said you can do it from 6 a.m. to midnight.
That time frame came from
Yeah,
years ago.
I know where it came from,
And, yeah,
at 30 by 50.
you're right. All right. So old business, gravel pit inspections. I had this form. This is from the Smith guys. Was that you or was that Gus?
That's me, Tommy Smith.
Yeah.
And I called him, and he said, cool, you can come anytime.
Okay.
Except you can't go now, because
So
there's snow.
once we're past mud season or what have you, we'll get
I'll
down
put
there.
on my
You wanna
hiking
have
boots and come in.
Yeah, and then maybe by then we'll have this new form. It might even be better if we wait.
I'm sure we can get that done.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. Gus was doing the other one, I think. I haven't heard anything from him, so hopefully, kind of the same thing. We'll just do it after mud season. Master plan checklist. You have that list of things that process type things. But one thing that we should talk about, we voted in a couple of meetings ago that we're going to have a committee.
Yes.
And there are rules around
Yes.
establishing a committee, which I think we should probably figure that out before we proceed any further. And it's in the rules of procedure under,
I think it says 1 selectman, 2. Planning board members, 4. I think that's what it says.
it's 17.2, here we go. Master Plan Committee. 1 selectman appointed by the chair of the board of selectmen. 2 elected or alternate planning board members appointed by planning board chair. So I think in that case we should probably wait till we see the new members. And then 4 members of the general public appointed by the planning board. So why don't we do this at the next meeting?
Sure.
And then we'll have an official committee and we can set up some meeting parameters. And
Yes.
there's probably some RSAs around
I have.
minutes and all that.
I have. Craig helped me with that. He gave me all the master plan appropriate RSAs, so we know what we do and what we can do, what we can't do. And I thought I would just come with a list of all of the sections, right? And then perhaps assign people to, one section, and those 4 public people, maybe there's some skill sets around the various
Mhm.
categories, for example, like, is there anybody who really knows all the housing rules or whatever, and then go from there.
Okay. So that's all I have. Member comments, I guess I have one comment. We sent around a couple of training
Yes.
type things. I think
Yeah,
once we get our new members in, we should
absolutely.
have everybody that can do it. One was how to read a plat, which would be helpful, and the second was kind of a almost all day
Just an overview kind of thing.
things you're supposed to know, basically. So, yeah, as soon as we get our new people in, I think we can see who can go that day, that Friday. The plat thing is on Friday. And maybe you can sign whoever's up, however you do it.
Should we continue to meet monthly, or should we consider going more frequently?
I think monthly's fine, because we can always call a special meeting.
Okay.
Especially if you have a subcommittee meeting.
Yeah, because your master plan committee would be a line item on our monthly
Right.
meeting. So if you can meet, even if you meet 3 times in that interim,
Yes.
we get the summary.
Right. And we will get it
And
done.
things like site plan reviews and all that type of thing, there's probably a public hearing, so that would be in addition.
For what, I'm sorry?
For like a site plan review, there would be a public hearing in the interim.
Yep.
Any other member comments?
I don't think so.
Gary, last chance.
No comment?
Thank you for serving, Karen. It's been a delight.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you very much.
Of course.
Meeting adjourned 6:25. Feel free to come to our meetings, though.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
When I'm not in tax season, I definitely will.
You missed the.
I'll get you on a
You missed the
subcommittee.
nonverbal.
I know I'll do this. Where is everybody? Are they snowbirding?
No idea.
So is this has been approved, is that
And
why
can
we
you
have a
sign
copy
minutes
of it?
for me?
There's in the red book,
Yes.
there's a mistake, so that supersedes a page in the red book.
Do we know what page it is in the red?
I didn't read it.
Somewhere
No,
else.
it's
406, I
Oh,
think it says.
674, 60.
Yeah, so just
I don't want to.
tape it in or
Yeah, I
cut
got you.
back and stuff.
Might as well.
Yeah. And I can just deal them out like cards.
That's right.
and
See?
I appreciate you doing that.
I went through your list and make that the list.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding.
A lot of it's just mother. I mean, there's a couple you can strike.
But I would hope there's a lot you could strike.
Because we don't.
Oh, skiing, yeah.
Like
They
wine
Is that what I
and
was-
Okay.
want to
But,
incorporate all that.
you know, the big ones are open every 30 days.
Stop
Like
planning.
15th.
Where's the other one you were at?
So I would,
That's
if I,
Has
if I
been.
ever did, I would start striking the FEMA stuff. But there's some very important stuff in there also. that I thought we should really work on it.
Right. Yes.
It's been a lot this year.
So I am.
Yeah, but the big numbers will be
I've got
over
my
May
list.
15th, before we can shoot for like May 10th.
It's crazy.